And hello to Mr. Jaeger.
Hello.
Our in-house Unreal connoisseur person. What are you going to talk about today, Michael? Take it away.
Thank you, Alan. Hello, everybody, and out there on the internet. I am a virtual production supervisor for those people who doesn't know who I am. I specialize in Unreal Engine as previs and cinematic content for games and films. And I'm going to show you, we're going to do this wonderful thing called a light demo. We're going to bring it up a notch. We're going to, don't try this at home, kids. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I thought there's a lot of slides and stuff. I had like a huge deck last time. So I thought we'll do something different, right? So we're talking about certain roles, new roles on set in virtual production. And together with Alex, which is the studio manager here as well, I made him my brain bar assistant, virtual camera assistant today, Unreal Operator. And I thought we'll talk a little bit about sort of like the VCAM part of all this virtual production and what goes into it, how do you use it, and show a bit of how do I use it in Unreal, just to show that you can use Unreal Engine in many different ways, as an editor, as a tool for pre-realization, Bertel talked about as well. But I'm going to show you using this this project from Epic Games called the Meerkat demo. Now, I didn't make this, just a huge disclaimer. The wonderful people at Weta actually did a lot of stuff on this because it involves a fully furred and animated meerkat and an even crazier eagle that has feathers. And there's like a whole behind the scenes out there on the internet. It's a bit older by now, I think a couple years old, showcasing, feather system for Unreal. But I'm not gonna talk about that because I know nothing about it, except that I know it's difficult because they talked a lot about how difficult it was. So the fine people at Weta have helped Epic Games making this demo. And this was actually to showcase the fact that you can, in Engine, create an entire short film at a certain level of quality. So, Alex, can you play this one? So we're just going to see this is all running in Engine. This is the viewport from Unreal. And you'll see this live. And then down here below, this is all the different shots that they made. And then after that, I'm going to use the VCAM and recreate my own version. Yeah? Oh, you can't see anything? Yes, of course. Is that enough? Yeah. Play it. So that's you can close the viewport now. So this is just an example to showcase you what they did, and you can see down here below in the sequencer track, you can see all the different shots, and of course, the audio is there. There's like tons of effects and blah blah blah. I'm not going to go into much detail with the sequencer. You can do that in your spare time. But this is Unreal Engine. The tools I'm going to be using here together with Alex is this thing called Dragonfly. And Dragonfly is a virtual camera plugin from Glassbox. And what they've done is that they've taken all the systems that's already in place in Unreal and made their own plugin that shows the user information in a more digestible way. Because if you've ever used the virtual camera from Epic, which is really good, but it's very Unreal-centric, as in all the details in the details panel, and I haven't created like UI widgets yet. So what I really like about this is that it's presented in a really, really nice way for the operator, because I'm a big believer in that if you bring a DOP on stage, they need to operate the same way as they do on set. Not because it's like an iPad all of a sudden, they have to do all sorts of new things, changing lenses, and it's just a bit of a hassle. So it's much easier that if you treat it as is you have an Area Alexa and a crew of 4 people right around that, just servicing the whole camera. So if you want to change the lens, you can just call out saying, can I get another lens, and so forth, and so on. And what the Dragonfly plugin has is like a couple of panels here. Is all the orange bits are Dragonfly. And it has like a setup where you actually tell it what you want to do. You want to use it for virtual camera. It has a color space input, so Unreal can render this out in, this is Rec 709, but if you're using ACES or something like that, which is the really cool good standard to know, because it's a standard that has been approved by the Oscars. If you Google Oscars.com, I think it is, they have all these tools that is for the industry to make it easier for everybody to speak the same language. And OpenColor.io, which is the engine that drives that, supports the ACES profile, so you can render it out in the ACES SSG and all the other ACES formats. So when you bring it into DaVinci, you have the biggest color space ever, because Rec 709, it can be fairly limited. But anyway, so you can choose that, and then you have this server application, companion app connection, which is basically the iPad. And it's just like a server function, and then you have the general tracking information where we, through the live link, actually connects it to the QTM, which is the Qualisys system. And then this constellation down here is being tracked in that system. Now, that is like, and I managed to see your talk, Basil, just at that spot where you're standing with the VCam against the person who's hanging in the stun rig. And what that does is that because it's in the same coordinate system, then VCam and Performer is exactly where they are. There's no drift, there's no nothing like the optical suits or in 2 different coordinate systems, like if you're using a Vive tracker together with Rococo, it's like, it doesn't know where the 2 things are in relationship to that. But anything that's tracked in here, same space. So that's just to say that we use that, and then we connect it to the camera, and the camera will track one-to-one. You can also use the inbuilt, if you're using an iPad of a later model, you can use the inbuilt AR-Kit function. So you don't need a tracking volume. You can actually use it at home if you wanted to, but then you have to consort with all sorts of drifting and things like that. But it's very cool that you can use your iPhone or iPad at home to do virtual cameras trips, right? And then we have the operator main, and the operator main menu is basically to say you can create different locations on the set where you can say, save that location. So if you read through a script, you can say, oh, I need to be by the door in shot 1, shot 2 is like in the garage, and then you can prep all this stuff. And that goes into the whole idea of having an operator, an Unreal operator that can prep stuff before the DOP comes in, for example. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the movement. You can, for example, say that if I want to do a helicopter ride, but I want to do it inside this volume, then I can add some offset here. So when I take 1 step in real world, I take 10 or 6 kilometer steps in the virtual world. So you can actually just walk across the whole island in 4 steps, right? And that's really good to do if you have something like quick actions, or you need to, a car or something, you need to, follow somebody. But you can also just parent it to the car. So now I can just stand still, I'm driving through Unreal, and I can just, I used it on the helicopter heist to parent, the whole thing to a helicopter that's flying across a city. And then you have the camera settings, which is basically to say you can, here we're using what's called a Dragonfly generic camera, but you can literally go in and create your own profile. So if I know that I'm using a Alexa Mini LF on set, I can go in and put the sensor size in 100%. That means the frame I'm looking at is the same as if you would take the Alexa LF on the day of the real filming, if you're making previs, and it will look the same. And then you can also do the same with the lenses. The cool thing about Dragonfly as well, and I know it might be coming later, is that you can, into the normal Unreal, is that you can actually mimic lenses. So if I go and shoot a lens, like some bizarre Russian lens on the lens grid, put into Nuke, export a lens map, I can actually read it back in here. And you would get the distortion as well. So if a DOP comes in and goes, okay, how does this shot look like? He will be looking through a camera and a lens that is sort of simulating the real world, which is really cool, especially when you do some sort of, there's some focus stuff and stuff where you can choose to focus while you're doing the VCam. I'm a big fan of doing that afterwards, because if you don't have a focus puller, you're asking the DOP to do many things at once, and he's focused on one thing, right? Like maybe sort of just his job, right? The cool thing about that is that Arri actually has a plugin for Unreal where you can use a proper Arri. I'm looking at you, Basim. Arri Alexa focus, follow focus in Unreal, which is really fucking cool. But it also means that you'll probably have the focus puller with the DOP at the same time, right? Because if you want to work in the same way you work on set, you should also do it here. But you can scale it up and down, which is really nice, right? Snapshots is like you can go around and go like, okay, here's a snapshot of the scene and the camera position. So it's very easy to jump to that snapshot. It's another way of creating bookmarks within the scene. And then we have some recording sessions, which is basically to say, okay, we want to record this sequence with this animation at 30 frames a second, because they have animated the whole sequence at 30, but you can change it to 25, 24, whatever you like. And then you can record the animation, and because they build this using NDI, which is a video codec over internet or network, it streams the images. So you can also say, oh, I want to record the sequence, which is the Unreal asset, and the viewport stream. So you get like a sort of reference camera as well version of that. But that's it really. And then there's like a big dragonfly logo in the middle of the top screen here, which is basically the camera has this thing called home actor, which is basically where the origin of the camera is. And that one you can always move around. So if I'm standing, I'm 10 times 10 meter here, but if this world is 100 kilometers, I can move that somewhere else, right? And that's where the preset comes in handy, the snapshots and the bookmarks that you can go, let's go to the mountain, let's go to the valley, let's go to the, whatever you want to do. So yeah, this is the scene. So the bottom window here is the dragonfly, and that's one viewport that is locked to the dragonfly. And this is where all the VCam is happening. And then the top one viewport is Unreal, because Dragonfly locks itself to one of the windows, and you can't move anything around in there, because it's like saying, hey, no, get off, it's my window. It also just displays information. For example, here, there's some, it's the same information as if you look through a viewfinder on set. It's a little bit simplified. There's some stuff down here that's not being showed, but it has like the shot. We can time sync or gen lock the signal. So if we are on a set that has a sync signal timecode or whatever, we can actually lock it to that so we know that everything is as it should be. And then it talks about the film bag, and also it's very nice to have that. And I like the way that they sort of taken the normal info from a viewfinder on set and then display that, because you could have done that so many different ways, like maybe in a very Unreal way, right? So like, tons of information and buttons and things, like, no, hang on a minute, because I think it ties into the whole idea of, the roles on set as well, and how you display information, that you keep it in the same world. Because I've seen people go, you want me to, what, this is an iPad, that's not a camera, right? It's like, and I understand the idea of it. I think it's a bit silly, but I understand the idea of, so you could also just pipe the signal into a viewfinder if you wanted to. So if he really wants to have the whole rig on, with the Steadicam arm and everything, and because he wants to train, then we can pipe the signal into his viewfinder, so he sees that as if he would on the day. Cool, let's, I'm gonna stop talking too much now. It's difficult, I know. Right, so Alex, can you change the sequencer to the one? Yeah, we have the right one, okay. So I made a new sequence, which is basically, I just stripped out the camera data of the sequencer, because otherwise Unreal will go, oh, no, I'm gonna log this to a camera, this is a new shot. So I'm gonna try and do a little bit of a sort of like I'm gonna go and grab this thing now. Just unlock it. And I'm just gonna show the audience in the studio what that looks like. So this is basically just a bespoke built cage for the iPad. It has a track on top with 4 dots, which is being tracked by the Qualisys system. And you can see as I move it around, you can see that camera's moving, and I'm looking at this view. This is the view that is basically the bottom viewport here as well, right? And you can see it's pretty responsive. I mean, it's like, this is what optical mocap does. It just works, right? It's like, so I can go around, and if I was doing, let's say, virtual scouting, I could sort of, oh, there's a character over here, what's that? Okay, I can sort of look down. And what we've done is like, we build a small version of the brain bar to verify that all the coordinates are right. So if I look over here, brain bar stations, right? Can you turn off the layer of the brain bar, Alex, please? Boom, right. So now I just have my own world, right? So let's see if we can figure out where the action is. And I think it's around, here we go. So Alex, can we start? Oh, we got a 12 mil on now. So I'm gonna try and shoot just a quick taste for you to see. You can see what that looks like. Ready to record, Alex? Yes. Record. Whoops. And cut. Thank you. Can you play that back? So Dragonfly has this playback function that this thing I just recorded now, we can just play back, and it plays into any viewport that has this thing on. I actually have a play button down here that I can touch if I wanted to, but I'm like talking to Alex. So can you play that back, Alex? It's also just the idea of, you know, who does what, and, you know, is there any issues? And so now you're seeing this live. It doesn't matter if I move this, it's baked, right? The camera's baked. All right, that looks good. Let's move on to the next one. Still on the 12th. So get ready to record again. Yeah. I'm gonna try and see if I can do this. Okay, so get ready to record. And record. Thank you. And Bert is probably going, what are you doing, man? Cut. Okay. So let's do a pickup shot here. So get ready to record. Record. Thank you. And cut. Okay, can you give me a 50? No, 30, what was it, 30? Yeah. That's 30, yeah. And then get ready to record. Thank you. Cut. All right, get ready to go again. Let's just see what this bird is. Where the hell is it? Hey, bird, where are you, bird? So I actually have there he is. So I have a timeline down here. So if I was like, oh, you know, maybe we should start. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, Jesus. Can you give me a 12 again, because it's a bit too narrow? Thank you. So let's just, we're just gonna see where is it? And you can see this is why preparation and testing come in order. I'm just gonna see if I can find it. There he is. All right, so we're gonna start from here. And can you give me a 30 again? Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, okay, record. And you can see that it's like, it's all over the place, right? Because I'm gonna cut. What they've done is they cheated, right? Because they're only animating for the shots they need where the camera is. So it's not one long motion. But that's to say, it'd be nice if you could do that. You can create the entire scene. And I really like that. You know, you get the mocap actors in, you get everybody in, you shoot the scene, you send everybody home, and then you bring in the DOP again, but with the team who needs to do this, and then you start shooting. I think you mentioned a little bit about that, Basil, earlier. It's that you can go and find the shot. Because what is the actor's job? Is to portray the characters, tell a story. You don't care about cameras. You shouldn't, right? This idea of going like, oh, but they need to look into the camera. Yeah, but they will at some point if you put the camera right in their face and they go like, oh, that, you just go, right? You can do that. So it's a little bit of a new way of working. I know that Cameron is really fond of this sort of way of working as well, because he's like, he wants to spend his time, I'm sure, right? Like really sort of trying to find the shots, right? All right, I'm just gonna forward a little bit here because I really wanna see this bird. Where is it? Okay, so it's coming in. It's a shadow there. Let's see if they, there we go. But I think what they've done is they animated it, right? And it goes, whoop, there we go, and then whoop, and then point. All right. All right, get ready to record. Cut! So yeah, my camera skills, but it's just showcase as well. You need to know your scene, right? It's like you record, you know, your recording is only as good as, you know, if you know where the action is and it's like, oh, where the hell did it go, right? So does anybody want to have a go? You want to have a go, come on. No, come on. It's all good. So you can just hold that. It's a bit heavy. My arm's hurting, that's why somebody else has to do it. So what we can do is like, we can go back to the beginning. If you come over here, and then point that way.
Can I ask a question?
Then if you look down a bit, you can see there's a hole.
Just ask a question.
Yeah?
So normally on a film set, I would say camera's going, and then the camera would run, and then you would get ready, and then you would start to record. Here you kind of start the animation at the same time as you record.
Yeah.
That confuses
so
me
that's
just a
that. Yeah.
little bit.
So I realized that when you start recording, Dragonfly starts recording in that instant. It doesn't go 3, 2, 1, everybody. So you have your methodology. You know, your method has to change a tiny bit. So you have everybody has to be aware that when he hits record, we're recording, right? So
Playing back.
and playing back. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's because you know you it's not like cue the background actors, get ready, roll camera, roll sound, everybody's ready, and then you go action, right? Okay. It's like everything is ready, action. So the idea is that if you want to have that bit of time before, and I've done it on many occasions where you just give everybody, you agreed and say 30 seconds or 10 seconds. So when I go roll camera, roll Dragonfly, it takes 10 seconds. You go 10, 9, 8, and then action, right? But it's again, it's a new way of thinking, so and you have to prepare. Like action you give, yeah. Are you ready, Alex, to roll this? Okay, you ready? Okay. Roll Dragonfly. Action. You haven't done this before? You sure? You don't know the scene? You're better than me, man. All right, cut. Does anybody else want to give it a go? Yeah. Very good. Thank you. So the only thing you should be aware of is not blocking the tracking dots, right? Yeah. So can we reset? We'll just go from where we are. So it's right here somewhere. If you move around. Yes. Found it? Yeah. Go for it. Roll Dragonfly. Oh, right, we're just cut. Cut. Alex, cut. And roll again. Because then you go into the ground, right? Because I've offset the camera because you want to, you know. Yeah. All right. And cut. All right, so I want to show you, well done. You're natural. I want to show you the next little bit of stuff you can do with this, which is really nice, is that now we have all these shots. Are you up for doing this, Alex? Because otherwise I have to go. Okay, so if you load the main, oh, hang on, wait. So will you go to the review? So here is all our list of shots. So if you select everything, just shift select everything, all the wide shots. I mean, we call that wide now, but we can actually name it like ultra wide, extreme close up. I don't know, your normal naming convention you have, eh? And there's also an option here to go, if I'm really shaky, right, like I have too much coffee, you can actually smooth it in the engine, and it actually goes in and smooths the curves, which is really nice, and you can smooth it in Z, X, Y, rotation, roll, all that stuff. All right, so do you want to hit, so down here we have this export function, and we can export it as different things, but you can also export it as a level sequence, which is the Unreal asset, right? So if you hit export on that one, and say yes, yes to everything. Let's go. It's because it's overriding files because we did a test earlier. Ah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Just going to the folder, yeah, just click yes, 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 yes. It's because it's already in use, I know. Keep going, yes, yes, yes. Okay, 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 yes, yes. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I think it's because I might have turned on override, so it's trying to override one file multiple times, right? It might be an issue. Can you just go into the folder in the content browser and see if it's what's in there? Yeah, there you go. So we have all our, okay, so it's already done it. That's okay, that's cool. So let's go back and open the sequencer, which is called master. It's in the, yeah, that one, master sequence, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Is that the one? I'm confused now. Just go to the content browser, and then in the content folder, there's just in the top folder content, there should be a. If you scroll down. Oh no. Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. Technical issue. This is doing it live. Me doing it live. Right. Yeah, yeah. It's fine. I can't remember what I did. I thought it was this one. No, it's one of them. Master sequence. No, we're just going to make it. All right, we'll just make a new sequence here, and then we'll just call it master sequence. Bang, chew. Just going to close that. Oh, it's because we have, yeah, so Dragonfly is open at the moment, so it doesn't like us changing the sequence. There you go. So this is just a blank. I'm over here, by the way. Hello. This is just a blank sequencer, and what we can do is we can add these shots that we just did, that we exported. There we go. And let's see, we're just going to take the last two here. Into sequencer. Bush, yes. Good complaint. So now we have, what we have here is, this is just our sequences. These are the shots we literally just did. So if I was, then this is the shot we just literally did. All right. And it's getting confused because it's two different. All right, so if I do this, something's happening. There you go, right? So what I can now do is I can treat this as a nonlinear editor, right? So I can say, oh, I want to see this shot to here. I can, oops, not do that. I can then move this and say, okay, I want to start there, and then I want to use the same shot again, but I want to offset it, right? I want to just cut to something further in, or pretend this is the ultra wide or the extreme close up, right? And then if I do this now, then we'll get this, right? So it's just to showcase that you can actually use this as an editor as well. So for example, let's say we go from here and then do that, right? And this is how they did the whole thing in the beginning as well. The full thing that I showed you guys is like that's this, you know. And I think a lot of people don't realize that you can actually do this, right? And the cool thing about this is you can go into the sequence as well and say, well, hang on a minute, I want to do things to it. I want to change the manual focal distance, right? And then say, you know, if I wanted to change let's go out and go into the other shot here. and zoom out a bit. It's telling me here that where the shot starts as well. So if I want to say, okay, I wanna change the focal distance here, I can set a keyframe. I can go to the camera assets and trying to find this bit here and say focus setting, disable, manual, right? So now we are like, we're doing something really weird here. So let's 50. Oh, I think there might be an auto exposure on here somewhere. But you get the point, right? So you can actually change the focus settings afterwards in here. You can also change the aperture if you wanted to, because it's all just animation data, which is pretty cool, right? So you could literally lay out the entire thing like this, and you have full access to everything. Plus, and it's one scene. It's just it's a sequencer asset in the scene. So what we can do is we could find the lighting. Let's just go into the main level here. Lights, and say if I wanted to look at some of the lighting. Oh, don't they have a? Okay, so I think because they're cheating this a little bit, they might not have a directional sunlight. I mean, there's all sorts of other stuff. But I could literally go in and I can, if I wanted to change the location of this, I can change this, right? And now that location is now changed in all the shots because it's the same scene. And I think that's pretty powerful, that you can literally on set, with the DOP, any of the other stakeholders, the manuscript writer, directors.
Did you all get everything that was going on here? Yep.
Okay. So it's very powerful because you could literally go like, come back tomorrow and have the first edit. And then you can even have the editor, on-set editor with you, right? Because you can even stream, if you want to work in DaVinci or Premiere, Avid, whatever, you could stream out this data. You can just give him the play blast or the camera, this camera movement as a MP4. But you can also do this. Now the editor might not know Unreal, right? But I think it gives the Unreal operator a massive amount of power to actually help in the process of figuring this out, because you can try stuff. Can we just try that, close up? No, that doesn't work. Can you just make a quick edit between these 3 shots in this sequence? And then, oh, it doesn't work. And then go back and go, okay, now I know. Work very creatively on set with those happy coincidences, right? And those still exist here, because if you shot everything as with the mocap actors, you might still go, oh, wait. I know we were going to shoot this on a 24, but actually, if I go all the way back here and shoot it on a 400, I get this feeling of the scene. But then when you walk past this window, can we change the sunlight? And go, yep, let's change the sunlight, right? But with great power, right, comes great responsibility. We all know what client does when they go, here's all the power in the world. You mean we can change everything? And you go, no. I normally say that, when they start doing that, I'll charge them 1,000 crowns every time they change the thing. And then quickly they will go, this is fine. But anyway, yeah, so, you okay, Beth? You're both, let's go away from that. No, they're very nice. They just have to have coffee and croissants. They're all happy. But I mean, any questions with this sort of thing? I mean, I know it's a lot to take in, especially if you don't really use Unreal. You use Unreal?
Yeah, I use it.
Okay. Because I haven't seen it before, that's why I don't know. You use Unreal? Yes. Awesome. Any questions? Where's the microphone? Questions microphone. It's here. Good. Well, you go.
So when it saves the level sequence, it is pretty much then makes a copy of the actual level sequence that you are using when recording, and adds the camera movement on top of that, and that's what's being saved.
Yeah, it's making nested sequences. They're called subsequences. You can actually see it here as well. And we have a system, if you know all your shots and you know how many there is, you can actually go create master sequence and type in how many shots, type how many all this stuff. I mean, it's very hard to know that up front, I would say, but the system is super forgiving, and it just eats all these things as you throw at it. And you can put audio in, and in Dragonfly, Alex, can you scroll down a bit on the operator main menu? The other one. So down here it has master sequence on the recording, and this is where you tell it which sequence would you like to use to record into. Or from, so that it contains all the animation, all the things you need to happen. It could be everything, right? In the level, which is pretty cool. And then it takes that and bakes it into another sequencer asset that is just becomes a subsequence. It's also because can you double click one of the shots on the timeline? Just doesn't matter which one it is. So you can see here it says master on the sequences now has a path that says master sequencer and then a subsequence BB shot 1 wide, and now we're into that one. That contains, a main sequence anim subtrack and a Dragonfly camera, because what is now done is that it's made the Dragonfly camera a spawnable. So because Dragonfly is a licensed plugin, you have to buy it or rent it a monthly. But it means that if you, let's say you rent for a month and then you come back later, you're not going to lose anything. You might use your shot's still there. You might use something else, right? So you don't need the information on the Dragonfly display, but you still have it because it just spawns a camera every single time you play the sequence, which is pretty cool. And then it has all the other information. You can keep diving in and subsequence and At some point, I think your computer might run into issues, but I've worked on stuff that has like many subsequences, which is crazy. Right?
This isn't Dragonfly specific, but because we've heard a lot about like previs and using it for virtual production where it's live action combined with CGI, but something like this where it's fully an Unreal environment, is that something you've done a lot or is being done a lot where it's recorded directly in a completely CGI environment in Unreal?
Are you talking about you want to render final pixels like Death Love Robots kind of?
Because we're not there yet. Is kind of
we are. One of the episodes in Love, Death, Robots, and I've forgotten the name of it. Is there's some soldiers that go into a very Cthulhu-esque cave. That's all done in Unreal. You should look up the behind the scenes of that because that is like that. Some of the best. Like this is made by Weta and da. So you can do it. You literally can if that's your style, because Unreal has a Unreal feel to it. Right? You can grade it and stuff afterwards. Of course you can and render out layers and work with it there, motion vectors and all these things for post, right? But it still has that sort of, because it is a hybrid engine, right? So it has this sort of gamey feel to it. But if you use that to your advantage, you can do all this stuff, And but I was just going to say, it also has a, Alex, can you go on the left side on the setup panel on the top? There's one that says camera mode. There we go. Yeah, top one. Yeah, so here it says simulcam. That's interesting because there's the green screen, right? There's Unreal Engine. We put a Genlock signal into it, and now you can do a simulcam where you can see Unreal where the green screen is. So now you can merge worlds, and with this one, it's actually quite easy to set up compared to, you can do it like with Composure, it's called in Unreal. It was a little bit more daunting because it's very, again, Unreal-esque. It's made for Unreal developers to go, that one needs to go in. And here they sort of try to fix that. It works really well. The keyer in Unreal is not good. I know they're working on it, but you can use any other, Blackmagic keyer or whatever you want to automate keyer. So it has a function to do that, if you want to do that too, as well. Which I think is great for playing out, even for previs as well, to go, okay, let's bring in like Michael Windelin's Troll, right? You can bring in the Troll into the studio and go, fucking hell, right? It's like, which is nice, right? I'm a big fan of simulcam. I think it's awesome. But yeah. Any other questions? All right. Beth, come on. You have questions. No? Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. We need to, otherwise people can't hear what you're saying.
So this could also just run with like a normal iPad without the whole camera tracking.
So
just
Alex,
using the
AR kit. Yeah. So Alex, can you go and disconnect the live link tracking settings? And then in tracking, can you choose the AR kit companion app? There you go. Now, this is now running the AR kit, which is basically using the LiDAR part of the iPad. I just need to change the stream. Give me a second. Good. There you go. So it's not working for some bizarre reason. I don't know why, but it's basically the. Oh, I think it was because we're in play mode. Can you close that? No, just close the sequencer. No, close the sequencer. Yeah, close that. Yeah. Just close it completely. There you go. So now it's completely dead. All right, so open the new sequencer, open the one that is like the main animation of the bird. You can just get it on the top bar. Can you get it from the top bar? The sequencer shortcut, yeah, and then the master sequence, I think it's called. No, that one up, sorry. Main sequence anim. There you go. And then we need to do something else. It was going so well. But anyway, so, but yeah, that's basically what you can do. I know, so, oh, there is something. Yeah, here we go. So it's just because I'm in, can you say, go to operator main, and then scroll up, and then go camera to home. Yeah, try that. All right. It might be. So this is also the problem, because it doesn't know where the floor is anymore, right? And you can see here, there's a bit of latency, you know. Can you try and pull me up a bit? There's a bit of latency and stuff, but I mean, if it doesn't matter, if you're doing it for previous or to prove a point to a client, this runs on an iPhone as well.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about it, I said to some students out of the Unreal Meetup, is like, do that. When you present your scene, you know, don't use a standard camera and it's just a linear curve animation and it's just fly, you know, it's fucking boring. Do that, because you can really also love your own work, right? You can go in and find things and really sort of give it a bit more sort of feel to it. And you don't have to use Dragonfly. You know, there's a very, very good V camera built in to Unreal that I use all the time if I don't have Dragonfly. But if I have a client on set, I want to use this because the information and the way it's displayed and the ease of use with click, stop, start, all that stuff is really good. But yeah, AR-Kit is amazing. That's how I started, because I don't have a volume at home. You know, so, yeah. Good. Thank you. And now it's time for free play. No.
So yeah, that was very good. Thank you very much. That was a little about that stuff.
No.
It kind of concludes our day today. We want to have short workshops so people don't fall asleep. And yeah, well, I like the tracking as well. The quality tracking is very good because so robust. And you can, you know, put boxes and marks on the floor, and you can relate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
I think Basil put it really nicely, right? It's like it's one-to-one, right? You point a camera at the person, it's there because you use the volume. This will drift. You put it down, come back. Where am I now? Right.
True that. Cool. Oh. So yeah, that's. I hope you everybody enjoyed it, and it will be online, of course, also, which is good. Next time we will also have a bit of a talk about using Unreal and in-engine stuff and previous with Ricardo, who made his thesis on CADA, Copenhagen Academy of Digital Arts, using our volume and a lot of stuff. So, and you will probably also be here?
I will be here as well,
showing the helicopter heist.
No,
stuff?
I think actually because I just dawned on me that I want to show the.
The VR. That could
virtual
be cool.
scouting.
Virtual scouting. That could be cool. Yes. Yeah. So hope some of you will come back. It's quite fun. We have actually 40 people signed up now for this workshop. Just so you know. Yeah. Anyway, it's cool today. So happiness all around. Bye bye. Can you wave to the camera? wave. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Free play.
doing post clip for sync. Clap. Thank you.